I want to show you a web application that I've built. And one of the amazing things about it is Gemini not only built all the app code for the Streamlit-based front end, but it also dynamically generates the HTML and JavaScript. Let me show you the results. So here's the app I've built, and all of this front end in Streamlit was actually entirely coded by Gemini. I just asked for the app to be like this, and it generated the code. And I'll show you that in GitHub. The point of the app is for me to put in a recipe idea. For example, I want to make a Yunnan pounded egg style salad, and I want to serve it with Chinese leaf cooked on the side. And the point is it will turn it into a recipe and then turn it into a diagram flow that I can follow. And the diagram flow and all that interactive visualization is generated dynamically by Gemini when I use the app. Let's have a look. So let me just get this going, and I'm going to click Process Recipe. Okay, so my recipe idea has been turned into a structured recipe, which you see here. I'm going to click Generate Graph. What's happening now is that this recipe is being sent to Gemini, who is picking up the recipe text and turning it into HTML and JavaScript code that it will present and render here on the front end of the app. Cool. Now, about a minute later, I have the graph generated. So here's my recipe turned into a diagram flow. So for example, here's the egg salad, and it has the ingredients at the top and the steps. And actually, I'll just download the files so I can open it in a new browser window. So here are the files I downloaded, and all of them generated just now by Gemini in response to my request for a recipe. And if I open the index.html, here's the tab. Here's my result of the recipe that I requested. And here's the steps I need to follow. And I've even added the details that you need to follow at every stage. And this is all dynamically generated just from my recipe idea and prompts to Gemini that turn my idea into this JavaScript-based visualization, which is really impressive. So this is the code repo, which is in the link in the video description. Really, the magic that makes that transformation of the recipe to the graph is in a system prompt that is sent to one of the Gemini agents. And that is here in line 200. And this is the generate graph system prompt. And it tells Gemini that it's an agent, an HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code generator specializing in visually clear cytoscape JavaScript flow diagrams. And it specifies that the input is a recipe and that the output must be valid HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code that turns a recipe into this kind of diagram. And there's a few examples in there so that it knows how to take in a new example, a new request. So I was able to build an application using Gemini to build the logic of the application and the front end. And inside that application, I used Gemini to turn free text recipe into structured HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code. I find this really incredible. I am really excited with coding agents and how empowering they are. I can really see a future where all of us are able to create much more things for ourselves. And I think for organizations, what that means is that the focus shifts from the number of coders or the size of teams to the expertise of the supervisors and to access to the right coding technologies. So like many other technologies, I find it remarkable that we're going from manual coding to automated coding. So I think for all of us who either have ran technology teams, have ran data science teams, have ran developer teams, or are enjoying coding ourselves, I think it's time to really learn and to adapt so that we can make use of these really empowering technologies.